The Truth of Girls.
So I've got some good news and some bad news as far as parental rights issues goes. Well, first of all, good news. Justina Pelletier, she's been returned to her family finally after 16 months, incarcerated in a hospital. I mean, basically just kidnapped by the hospital. Parents accused of medically neglecting her for, quote, over-medicalizing her. And the doctor who saw her that day thought her symptoms of mitochondrial disease were somatic, as in just a mental illness. Anyway, they kept her in hospital for 16 months as she deteriorated very badly. And they basically were running medical experiments on her. And so now she's out. And her father, Lou Pelletier, is, of course, speaking out about what happened. And also, he says that he would like to see the Justina law passed, which would stop state governments from doing that, from kidnapping children and holding them while they conduct medical experiments on them. Because that is actually what happened. And as he said, this wasn't an isolated case. This actually happens quite a bit. It's a very scary thought. DCF, CPS, government is known to really overstep boundaries and violate parental rights. Actually, following this topic for so long, I get the impression at this point that there really is no fundamental respect for any kind of inherent parental rights. And as I learned from the Freemen, it has a lot to do with your birth certificate, that once you sign that child up for their birth certificate, you're basically, sorry, there's a fly. You're basically making them have a straw man. You're giving them a straw man, and so then they become, as far as the government is concerned, like a child of the state. They become corporate property, an employee of the corporation of the country that you live in. Your country is a corporation. And so, because of this, you don't actually have those like fundamental human rights anymore as a parent. It's like you've turned them over to the state, and then they give them back to you in your care, but they can at any moment revoke this privilege that you have to care for your own child. So it's kind of a dangerous situation, and that's how I think that they get a lot of their sort of ability to do the things that they do. Just to give you a couple other examples of how this happens. This was from Canada. Winnipeg couple says CFS taking their baby with no explanation. She's about to give birth. Well, she's probably giving birth now, and they were just going to take the baby at birth. She had a child when she was young, teenager, and she wasn't able to take care of the child, so it was adopted by, I don't remember now, it was a family member or something. And once that has happened, you can be declared an unfit parent, and then any children you have in the future can be automatically forcibly removed from your care. Now, I don't know how this applies to both parents. I mean, he's the father. Doesn't he have any parental rights? I mean, he's not the one who lost custody of a child before, I don't think. And I have to also wonder, going back to the Freeman stuff and the birth certificate, they didn't register the baby. It's just like this couple in Winnipeg, the baby's being born. So how does the state have jurisdiction over the child already? Or are they working on the assumption that they're going to register it as soon as it's born? Because I've been told that the child is unregistered, the government has no rights to remove or provide services to the child. So maybe that's not true. Maybe they can remove a child who hasn't been registered. I don't know. Maybe you can fill me in on whether this is fact. And here's another case. Parents investigated by Child Protective Services after giving birth at home. It says here, a woman says that after delivering her baby naturally at home, she received multiple visits from social workers to her home requiring her to prove that her baby was healthy and under government-approved medical supervision. Seriously, going after someone because they had their baby at home. I remember reading Ina May Gaskin's book, Spiritual Midwifery, and they were traveling in a bus, and one of them gave birth. Of course, they all gave birth naturally at home, and weighed the baby like on a grocery scale, and maybe later brought it into a doctor's office for a checkup. But there was a time where women gave birth at home naturally, and you could bring your baby in afterwards and not have to worry about having it taken away from you and having to prove that the baby was healthy and that under government approved medical supervision. I mean, where's the trust? Don't they trust at all that the mother cares about her baby? Maybe that's why she had the baby at home naturally, because she cares. She wants the baby to be healthy. I don't think she did that because she was just too busy partying to go to the hospital to give birth, so she just squeezed it out at home. It was probably a conscious choice because she cares. So why are they scrutinizing her like this? In any case, there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to parental rights in North America, but I find the case of Justina Pelletier gives a lot of hope. Maybe things really can change. So, well, let me know what you think, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.